welcome back to my channel. It's Bella Teal and it is officially summer, which means that I'm going to be making a bunch more videos over these next couple of months. And starting off today, I'm giving you guys a bunch of book recommendations for a hot girl summer mindset glow up. I'm super excited about this series because some of these books have literally changed my life and my mindset. And so hopefully today you guys learned something, decide to get one of these books, and also have a summer mindset glow up. So the theme of books today that I'll be recommending are mostly self-help books, but there's also a few kind of feminist/empowering books in there that I would really recommend if you're looking to level up your life, be more productive, and just be a better person. So the first book that I really loved and would recommend to you guys is called You Are a Badass. And this book is really good if you need some motivation, if you've been wanting to take a risk, if you've been wanting to follow your dreams, if you've basically just needed some motivation to do what you want in your life. It's a solid 10 out of 10. Literally so motivational. There's so many relatable stories in it, and it's actually kind of funny too. And a quote from this book that I really love says, "If you want to live a life you've never lived, you have to do things you've never done before." So some key takeaways from this book are that some people see money as the root of all evil, but if you use money right, it is actually a tool that can be used to fuel your passions. So if you have any money blocks or limiting beliefs about money and being rich, this book will kind of change your perspective about that and help you see that money can actually be used for good. This book encourages you to not be afraid to make a mess. This book also taught me that you can literally do anything you want if you set your mind to it and you have the passion for it. And it says that you should do more of the things that make you happy and excited to get up in the morning, things that make you lose track of time. So this book really recommends that you get into your flow state, which is where you do activities that make you lose track of time. So for me, it's being in music or playing an instrument. When I'm doing that, I kind of just forget what time it is, and then it ends up being 2 hours later. So this book recommends that you get into that flow state more often because your life will just be a lot more enjoyable. And then lastly, this book says that in terms of trying to reach a goal or follow your dreams, that even as you level up or you get closer to reaching your dreams, new challenges will arise. So this book really asks you, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to go after your dream? And you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to achieve your goals. An example that I gave was that if you wanted to open your own bakery, for example, is that you might be really successful in opening your bakery and suddenly you have a bunch of customers come in, but then one day a bulldozer comes in and, runs through the front of the store. And that would cost a lot of money and obviously would not be good, but that is the universe trying to test you and see how much passion and willingness you have in order to make your dreams come true. So are you willing to overcome that and reinvest in building your store in order to make your dreams come true? So again, I really like this book and I would definitely recommend giving it a read. Okay, this next book is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***. It's actually like one of the only books in this whole pile that's genuinely made me laugh out loud because there's just so many like witty jokes in it that are actually funny. So this book is really good, I think, at helping you declutter your life of things that don't matter. Because basically the whole premise of this book is trying to help you figure out exactly what in life you want to give a bleep about. And one really interesting thing about this book is that it challenges you to really think about what challenges in your life you want to have. Because no matter if you're a millionaire, you're going to have problems in your life. If you're dirt poor, you're going to have problems in your life. Obviously, they're going to be very different problems, but you're still going to have problems. So this book really challenges you to try and figure out exactly what problems you are okay having with in life. And finally, this book challenges the idea of there actually being true happiness in the world, and it helps you to embrace negative experiences. So definitely give this one a read. It's very funny. Both of these books I finished in like a couple days because they were that good. Alright guys, this next book is one of my favorites. It is The Alchemist, and I'm currently rereading it for the second time. It is a really good book to read if you have a dream that you want to follow and maybe you need some guidance on whether or not you should pursue that dream. So this book talks a lot about personal legends, and how this book defines a personal legend is what your purpose is on this earth. And this book says that everyone on earth is put here with a purpose and with a goal and with a dream. And we all know our personal legend as a kid. But as we get older and we go through the difficulties of life and we realize, all the kind of limits in this world that we believe there are, we kind of lose track of that personal legend. So although I would classify this book as a self-help book, it is actually a fictional story because it follows a boy who works as a shepherd And then he decides to go to the desert far, far away and to chase his dream of finding gold. And it shows how the universe will test you multiple times for just how bad you want the goal that you're trying to reach. There are so many good quotes in this book. I think I'll actually read you guys a few. So I'm gonna read 3 quotes that I really love from this book. And the first one says, "Why don't people's hearts tell them to continue to follow their dreams?" the boy asked the alchemist. The alchemist replied, "Because that's what makes a heart suffer most, and hearts don't like to suffer." Another one says that close to the end or reaching your goal, your heart is afraid that in pursuing its dreams, you might lose everything you've won. But that's the point at which most people give up. It's where one dies of thirst just when the palm trees have appeared on the horizon. Every search begins with beginner's luck, and every search ends with the victor being severely tested. And the last one says, "My heart is agitated. It gets emotional and passionate and keeps me from sleeping many nights," the boy said. The alchemist replied, "That's good. Your heart is alive. Keep listening to what it has to say. If you stop listening to your heart, eventually it will stop telling you what it wants." And one last quote from this book that I really love, it says that if you don't follow your dreams or follow your heart, it will haunt you forever. Okay, so this next book is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I feel like this is a pretty common book, so I won't take too much time to go over it, but it is a really good book if you're looking to improve your relationships, your happiness, and productivity. This book really makes you think critically about how you are spending your time, and at one point in the book, it even makes you write a letter to yourself as if you were dead. I honestly haven't read this one in a while, so I might go read it after this video. Okay, next we have this book. It's by Dale Carnegie, who is pretty famous in history. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book is really good if you're looking to, again, improve your relationships and be better at social situations, especially if you are socially awkward, like me. I know it may not seem like it, guys, but I actually am kind of awkward. Okay, so what was I saying? Okay. One thing that was really interesting from this book is that people love hearing their name. So if you're talking to someone in a conversation, make sure to say their name at least a few times throughout the conversation. If there's one thing in this world that people love most, it's themselves. So hearing their own name makes them feel really good about themselves. I would say this book is also really good if you're looking to be a manager or some type of leader, because it also talks about work relationships and how you can be a better leader. I just want to read a few key takeaways and quotes from this book that I really loved. So this one's kind of a little bit manipulative, but one point from this book says that if you want somebody to do something, make them think it was their idea. Another really interesting point from this book says that, well, we all know humans need food, water, sleep, shelter, all of that good stuff. But this book also says that in order to live a fulfilling life, we have to feel appreciated by the other people in our life. This book also really shows you that in order to maintain good relationships, you have to show your appreciation for other people. Okay, this next book I really love, but I don't have it with me in person because I found a PDF of it online for free. And if I can find it again, I will link it down below in the description. But this book is called The Defining Decade. This book is probably the most useful and knowledge-giving out of all of these books, especially if you are in your late teens or early 20s. I would highly, highly recommend this book. This book talks a lot about finding your own personality, getting into good relationships, and finding a career that you love. I'm just gonna read a few interesting points that I found from this book. That way, in case you don't read this book, again, you kind of get the gist of it. So it says that our personalities changed more during the 20-something years than at any time before or after. It says that stable relationships help 20-somethings feel more secure and responsible, whether or not these relationships last. And it says, a great relationship or a job to be proud of may seem elusive, but just working toward these things or your goals makes us happier. This book also recommends to make use of weak ties, which are people that we don't really know, but maybe we met once and connected with them on LinkedIn. This book says that we shouldn't be afraid to reach out to these people because they might just land us a job opportunity. Another point this book makes that I really, really agree with, it says that who you hang out with and live with has a great influence on who you are and who you become. This book also talks about the cohabitation effect, which is really interesting. It says that couples, romantic couples, who live together first before engagement or getting married are actually less satisfied with their marriage and are more likely to divorce than couples who do not live together before engagement, which is really interesting. So if your partner ever asks you to move in with them before you guys are engaged, say no. This book also talks about the importance of having similar personalities with your romantic partner. So having, similar traits such as CANU, which stands for conscientiousness, agreeableness, neuroticism, openness, and extroversion. So if you are similar in those 5 categories, you're likely to have a good relationship with them. But something else that I learned in psychology class in college is that although having similar personality traits is important, how you view your partner is actually much more important. For example, if your partner is factually lazy and they don't do anything all day, but you view them as being very productive and, a great person, then you're going to have a happy relationship because you're not mad at them. But if your partner's actually very hardworking and they do so much around the house and they do so much at work, but you view them as lazy, you're not going to have a good time. So how you view your partner is actually very, very important. And then 2 quotes that I want to mention are 1, there is a big difference between having a life in your 30s and starting a life in your 30s. And then number 2, action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Whew, last book. We are on the last book, guys. Okay, this next book I'll be talking about is called #GirlBoss. And you guys might have heard of this one. It's by Sophia Amoruso. I don't have it with me because I actually borrowed it from my friend Kaylee. If you don't know Sophia Amoruso, she is the founder of the clothing brand Nasty Gal. And this book takes you through the story of her starting out dirt poor and becoming very rich and building up her fashion business on eBay. So that's all the books I'll be talking about today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Maybe go pick out a few of these books on your own, online, or at the bookstore because they will change your life. I promise you. Actually, don't quote me on that. Please don't sue me. Make sure to hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel, and of course, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Bye!